oh my God, that was my life.
And I don't know why you're hiding this or whatever.
Yeah. Marriage that's like dry me out.
Right.
Is it the time to reveal everybody what our relationship status now? Спаси, сохрани. Hi, my beautiful people, and welcome to Get Under My Skin. I'm your skin therapist, Kate, and today I have a special edition. I thought it would be a great idea for me to open up a little bit and give you a chance to learn more about me and my story. I couldn't think about anyone better but the person that knows all of my dirty laundry and those cockroaches in my head. He is a first writer for a scientific article on major depression and type 2 diabetes in a journal for stress and health. Please welcome most phenomenal human being on earth that I'm truly honored to have in my life and call him my best friend. Welcome, Moise Kimbalajan.
Well, that was a great introduction, not just to me, but like even for your podcast. And I'm really honored to even be here. So
I'm honored to have you here.
Wow, that was a really good introduction.
I'm flattered.
Thanks for having me on here. I'm
of course.
I knew you were obviously doing the podcast and everything. And I always thought like, man, I would love to be on there, but I have nothing to contribute. And you found a way.
What do you mean you have nothing to contribute?
I mean, like, I don't know about skin and
yeah, but it's not just about
hair.
that.
Yeah, but you know.
You contribute on my major depression, okay?
I mean, sure. No, I'm
You're
just saying.
You're like my personal therapist.
I mean, I think
different ways.
For me, like even like just friendships in general, that's just what we're supposed to be for each other. Like a therapist without, the salary, which I would like that therapist salary, but you're my friend, so I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide.
We'll let it slide.
We'll let it slide for right now.
For now. Then I'm in the 10 years, I'm going to get this invoice.
You're going to get a huge invoice with interest. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm thinking.
We'll got to build our insurance. Then we'll just have to make a little, backdated.
Deal.
Yeah. Sounds good.
What do you have for me today?
I think we will just start playing a little cards just to kind of open up and ask the questions. I know you hate that stuff, but
I thought those were tarot cards. I was like,
I mean, I love to.
I was like,
I would totally do that.
What's my moon?
If I would moon sign. Yeah. What is your rising sign? I was like, what time were you born? I was like, please don't no Gemini's here.
I purposely said that.
I mean, you know me. Even the gas, I have to check the Gemini. Sorry, it's not gonna go well.
You know me, I'm like, I don't care. Well, no.
You're like Cancer.
You're like Cancer.
But you're a woman, so you're okay.
Yeah, okay, you're fine. You're fine.
I feel the same about the Geminis. Yeah, so bad. But okay. Do you want to get started?
Go ahead.
You go first.
So I have to ask you a question?
Well, you just pull the card.
Okay.
We'll put a card. We'll ask the question. Oh, no, you answer the question. You answer the question when you put.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to start with you. And then we can just roll over with other questions if we want to.
Okay.
You're like, are you sure you want me to do this?
See, I'm like literally nervous. I'm like, it's upside down.
What is she going to ask?
What do you think is the scariest aspect of dying? You see, what kind of questions are these? This is why I don't like these. So, what do you think is the scariest aspect of dying?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the scariest aspect of dying is not having you in my life anymore.
Aww. I love you. It's like light it. I'll make it look good.
I think the scariest part of dying is to not have an amazing skin therapist who's going to make sure. Sorry. Okay, really, I think so. This is actually an interesting question. So I personally, dying was my biggest fear.
I know that. That's why I'm happy you pulled that question.
Oh, I thought you purposely put it first.
No, I actually didn't even look at them. My sister looked through just to pull the group questions out, but that was about it. I've never even read them.
Yeah, so that was my biggest fear. And I actually just last year, I think, got over that. I think what helped me really get this, like, kind of deep for like.
I mean, let's go deep. Let's
get under my skin.
I'll get under yours. You get under mine. So
right.
It is good.
So I think the scariest aspect of dying for me was just knowing everything was just, I don't know what to expect afterwards. You know, I was raised in like my family's from Haiti, Catholic upbringing. So, you know, just heaven and hell, but also like you're kind of confused because it's like who really does know. And then when you're thinking about religion, you know all the like the political stuff that behind it. So you're like, who to trust? So for me, it was really like, what's really going to happen? I think the thing that helped me the most, and this isn't to like toot your horn, but it's like people like you in my life and knowing like I've done amazing things to get really great people here with me who I can completely trust. That to me, it's like, well, I think I told you like a couple months ago or something, like if I die, I'm good now. Like I've done what I need to do. I'm happy because I mean, I know there's more for me to do and I have some goals to do, but I think existentially, I have been there so much for like so many of my friends and they've been there for me that I'm just kind of like, and that's why if like people like leave my life in some like negative way, it kind of is like, well, I have all these great people here. You know what I mean?
It's like you're sorting
out,
yeah,
like you're weeding. It's kind of like what you said. Your assistant took out the group cards. It's like that. I took out like the bad cards out of my life. And now I have these amazing cards that give me great questions like this. You know what I mean? I have these amazing people who make me think and really develop myself. And yeah, so I can't answer this question because I'm not scared anymore of dying because of people like you, honestly.
I love you. Is it too soon to say that?
I don't think so. Unless you're lying.
I really do. No, I think you hear this more than anybody else. My mom sometimes gets jealous about that, so but we'll keep it around. But she's like, he's missing. Come watch the kids. I gotta look for him.
Can you tell this story?
I know him. Okay, I'm gonna take a little pause and tell this story. So, you guys, this person was studying for I'm Cass, right? I'm Cass. I'm Cad. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And I know you so well, and I know your patterns, and I know how you answer and where you at. I mean, we shared the location, so like we know where we at. And there's one day, just I sent him a message. I'm like, he's busy, no response. He'll get back to me, whatever. I'll send another one. Again, I'm not bothering. It's just I'm like sending you something funny or whatever. Like I know it'll get to the evening, he'll respond. So it's like 9 p.m. I'm like, he like should respond by now. Like
I'm very good with
9 to like yeah. Eventually, like I know like the point when you're working and then okay, you turn off your D&D and you're like you're gonna get back to me. And here I am watching the kids, and there's something in my head like I'm like, hey, he did not respond to me. So I opened the location and I looked at it, and he's like in the middle of the road. In the middle of the road, and it says
more.
Yeah, it's like 10 hours. I'm like refreshing. I start panicking, and like kids are hanging on me, and I'm like, what the hell? Like there's something happened. I call, no response. I call again, no response. I'm like, respond. I'm like in caps. You gotta respond. Are you okay? No response. I'm like, oh my God. Put the kids to sleep really quickly. Start messaging. Who can I call? I don't want to freak out the people. I don't want to like text the other friends to just like them start freaking out. I'm like, well, let me text the roommate. Like I start texting the roommate. No response. I call the roommates. I call the roommates that I don't want to talk to. That's how much I love you. Okay. I'm like, I don't care what they think about me right now. I gotta find this man.
Yeah.
I call my mom. I'm like, you gotta be in the way. Pack, you gotta come. You gotta watch the kids right now because I have to go and find him. He is in the middle of the road. I don't know what happened to him.
And I was in a library that is like right next to the expressway. So if you look at my location, it just says like I'm on the expressway.
Yeah, you're
And it's
literally
and it said like, like 12 hours ago. Because when I start studying, it's like, okay, cool. I'm in the library, phone off. And I don't look at my phone. I don't do anything. The best way to get in contact me is through email.
I didn't even think about it.
I mean, that doesn't, normal people
because it was
don't
like,
even
I went
think
to
that.
Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe it'll respond.
No
then,
social
maybe
media.
Something with the
Yes.
phone. And in my head, also, like, I know you're like walking. Like,
Yes.
what if he was walking and get hit by the car?
No,
Like,
those are
what
real.
If he get like kidnapped?
No,
Or
those are
he
real
run.
things though.
It
Like that's
is.
what I
It
mean.
is.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't want you to even think like even a little bit like you were being overly, because that's not my pattern.
Yes.
Because
exactly.
like we all know, like we all have those friends that like, okay, I texted them. Oh, I haven't heard from them in a week. This is typical because that's just how they are.
Mm-hmm.
Me, it's like, oh, I texted him. I haven't heard from him in 10 minutes. Oh, 11 minutes. He's texting back. Like I text back pretty like consistently.
Yeah.
So for you not to hear from me and then the location is gone and it's expressway and
It's like a combo that was like backfired.
Yes.
On me.
And then I remember I was like, man, I just did like a couple of practice like quizzes and stuff. And I was like, should I just stay here? Because it like closed at 10. I was like, should I stay here for another like hour? I was like, you know what? I think I'm a little tired. I think I should just refresh. I'm doing well. Turn on my phone. Yeah, I get like, a lot of text messages. And out there I just see, babe, answer. Are you okay? I'm like, hello?
No, at first you start responding to my memes that I was sending to like casually, like nothing.
Because I didn't even see like the ones that like the latest. And I was like, haha. I'm going in order because I like to do things in order. So I'm like, okay, cool. Oh my gosh. Hello, like FaceTime, like I'm here. And you're like,
I was pissed.
Yeah.
And I would start crying. And I'm like, I thought, I gotta look for you.
I felt really bad, but
it's fine.
Then I'll just let you know. Phone's turning off now. You're
Please.
like,
I'm like, thank you for letting me know. Now I do. Though, for past 9 years I didn't.
Yeah, no, totally.
But yeah, it was something new. So it's my turn now.
Your turn.
Okay, let's take a look. Oh God, what was your first impression of the person to your left? Sorry, camera guy.
Left or just me?
I'll consider that we were like mirroring that.
Okay, cool.
First impression.
Oh my
Can
gosh.
I say this?
No.
Please.
Not the full.
Not the full.
Yeah,
okay. Well, partially. Can I mention?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Wait.
I'm not gonna do.
Yeah.
What you were trying to do? I'm just gonna. Okay.
No. That sounds worse.
Sorry. I asked you beforehand if there's any topics you want me not to mention. You did not say anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't get speechless. And now I'm like, yes, go ahead.
We were in the club.
Yes.
Yes, we were in the club.
I was working I was a promoter.
Yeah, you were in a promoter. And it was already like a late night. It was a late night. It was like maybe 2 a.m. I think you were blacked out at that point. And you were hitting on my ex. So the first impression was not great. Sorry. Embarrassing moment, but not to me. I mean, it led to most amazing friendship I've ever could ask for. I was not even legally supposed to be in a club.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it was great.
It was great. I mean, yeah.
I mean, who would have thought that?
It was like
2 or
10
3
years ago,
later,
9 years
you
ago,
go,
9 years ago.
Like, can you come to my bachelorette? Of course.
I mean, we had many stories before then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Leading to
I'm just like, I mean, who would have thought? Like, all these.
I mean, there's a reason why you're here because there are so many. We've gone through ups and downs, and I feel like every major or minor life events, you've been there. So I'm very thankful for that.
I just try to be a friend. And that's what friends do. Right?
Supposedly, I guess, but it's not always.
It's not easy. It's not easy finding friends like that.
Yeah.
It's not. It's really not. Like, I think, I feel like this year for me, when it comes to friendships, been very insane.
No, I can
challenging.
totally
Like,
feel that.
it's been challenging.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I've gone through the same thing past like couple years, but I feel like I'm at the point where I cleared everybody that I don't want to have in my life.
right.
And like last year, you know it yourself, there was consistently everything was like had to go, and everything didn't feel right, had to go. So I feel like that's first time in my life where I can truly say, if you ask me like, what would you wanted to get rid of? I couldn't even answer to that.
Right.
Because once I feel that, it goes immediately. And I already cleared that.
And I feel like it's like, you say it about me, like I'm so tolerant and patient. And
You
I
are.
I am.
Yeah.
I guess I am. It's just that I do try to see the best of people or what have you. And I think I am a very, I think I give people, so I say give people enough rope to either like build the friendship again or to like hang themselves. Like either it's one or the other, like to be honest. Like
I mean, yeah, you better, you better, if you're on a good side, you're getting the best of me.
right.
If you try to.
Well, my thing is like, I'll give you an opportunity. I'll give you a chance. So let's say, for example, I can't think of an example from you, but I do it to everyone. But it's like, hey, I didn't like this, or hey, this, whatever, or I know the answer already, but I just ask you the question
Just to see
the response. And if you're just being honest and truthful with me, you're building the friendship. Even if it's something negative, it's still, I can trust you. If you like lie and it's a dumb lie and I don't know why you're hiding this or whatever, then you're kind of hanging yourself in this, like putting yourself in this category of not trustworthy. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So that's kind of what I've done. And I even after people hang themselves, I'm like, here's some more rope. Come on, try to build it. Try to build it.
Yeah,
And
maybe I'll just give it a little bit of a
little bit more. Let me give you a
Maybe
little
they had
slack.
a bad day. Maybe like
and I try to consider that stuff. And then like,
and you consider it a lot. Sometimes I feel like too much.
I think this year was just hard because it's just like multiple friends.
One after one
It was like
after
one.
one,
I'm like, what is going? And then you really think like, okay,
Where's my tarot cards?
well, yeah, seriously, I'm like, the problem is, it has to be me. I'm like, the problem is me, but it's not like I had a friend recently who was just like, I was like, what's up? You know, and he's like, I just got a new friend group and I just stopped talking to everyone. And it's like, okay. And then another person, they just, you know, apparently like I'm loud and, you know.
I couldn't believe it. That,
Yeah.
you know, like I was there and I'm like, it can't be real.
You were like, this is not real. And I'm
But
like,
it's not real.
yeah. But like, again, like those things, it's like, those are excuses. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
if someone's going to be like, oh, I can't be your friend because like, that friendship was like 9 years, I think, you know, an 8-9 year friendship that's ending because.
And they didn't even tell you that
They
in
didn't
your
tell
face.
you. Right. So.
And that's to me, and that's exactly what I told you. It's like, it's not about you.
Right. No, 100%.
That's a.
But it's hard I think it's hard for a lot of us to be like,
what did I do?
What did I do? Like even, like it doesn't matter, like friendships, dating or whatever. If you see multiple people acting a certain way, you start going like, I think people who are really trying to self-develop and grow themselves kind of try to have this humility to go, okay, if a lot of people are treating or acting this way to me, what am I doing wrong? You like just to, because that's the control I have, you know, it's what is it called? Like internal locus or something. It's like that's like internal locus is kind of like our own control over, like, we know, you know, you're doing well in this podcast. That's because I have an internal locus and I think like I did well. But external locus would be like, oh, it's because someone gave me the opportunity. You know what I mean? So I feel like when you're really when you're really looking into yourself, you're kind of going, what can I do? What control can I do? And then later on, you kind of realize, well, sometimes it just happens because it happens. I don't think it's really a reason. It just, a lot of people treat you away because, and also, you know what I really think is, sorry, like my background research, probabilities, the stats, I think it's just, if you have a lot of people in your life, you're going to have a lot of crappy people. Like that's just what it is. People who have like a very, very, very small friend groups, they don't have as much issues, I feel like, just because you're not dealing with too many people. You know what I mean? So the more people you add into your life, the more drama.
I mean, you're exposed to so many different
things. Yeah. It's just like, that's just what it is. So I don't know. I think I love having a lot of people in my life, but I think I'm getting a little too old and getting exhausted. Is that a problem?
No. You know me.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm a small circle person. I'm more about the quality versus quantity. And with my life schedule, it's just impossible to maintain so many people. And I'm, again, at this point of my life, I'm just trying to maintain the friendship that I already have. You know, try to dedicate the time to meet them, try to dedicate the time to check on them. And it's impossible to do for a huge circle.
So question.
Yes.
Here. How is it maintaining like these relationships with people, friendships, like family relationships, what have you, while being a business owner? I feel like that's kind of something we don't really talk too much about.
Yeah.
I know you're really great with like seeing how I'm doing and whatever, and, you know, being there for me. But how is it with like just other people, like juggling everything while owning a business?
I might get for a little trouble here for answering that, but it's not easy.
You can be vague. You don't have to say names or anything.
No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to kind of generalize. And I feel like a lot of creators or business owners going to relate to me. And that's not something you prepare for when you go into self-growth, you know, pushing yourself into something bigger than most people maybe expect you to do. And especially like trying to own a business or start a business or create, you know, artsy, something being creative and like even like being in the social media, being out there or whatever platform you're at. Yeah. You expect I feel like everyone's first thought is that you're going to be supported by the closest people that you have, right? But the reality is that it's not a lot of times, and I realize it's not the case. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I didn't truly understand still the root of the issue of that and why it's happening. But a lot of times you're finding yourself being kind of like, oh, those people that don't know me, they're like rooting for me. You're like, yay, good job. Go ahead. You're doing awesome. You're doing great. Like, I love what you do. I love like how you're inspiring, whatever it is. And then when people that are close to you, you don't always find that way. I'm not saying it all. Right. I'm not saying by any means. But it's just, that's true. And I think I was talking that on even my social media page not that long time ago. When you're down, like, and I've been down in my life where like everything has crashed completely, and you try to understand where you at, how you're gonna live, how you're gonna survive, how you're gonna make it till tomorrow, you don't even know what to do. And when you're in those moments, you do have great people around you, and I hope those people have like great intentions. And you tell me if I'm wrong or right, because that's a kind of psychology to me. When those people want to be around you, because it does make them feel good to help you. You know, it's part of like, well, I'm helping her, so it's doing something good, and I feel good helping her or him, whatever it is. But when the person is trying to kind of already move up front and like rebuilding themselves and like moving forward, I feel like this is the moment when they really need the support. You know, they're trying to push their walls. They're trying to do better. They're trying to expand their quality of life or whatever it is by any means. then you're finding yourself being pretty lonely. And I've got through times when it was really lonely, and I really truly appreciate the people that were there, including you, and supporting all my beginnings, and just being there. That's, and honesty too. Like, I'm always open for the honesty. I'm open to the feedback, and
You've always
that
been
I'm
that way.
Yeah,
You've always just been. That's just you.
Exactly. I just don't put me down.
Right.
But
you know how to say it.
Yeah, how to say it. Like, I'm not telling you like tippy toes around me by any means.
I was talking to this with someone the other day. I was like, the type of person I am, it's like, if someone's like, oh, like, how do I look? And I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, you look fine. Because I'll tell you what it looks.
Tell me what to fix it.
But I was just going to say,
not like, you suck.
This looks bad.
Like you suck.
I'd be like,
what?
maybe another color, jacket, just because it will highlight. Maybe, I don't know, but
maybe
do you have something else?
Like
I'm helping you.
Yeah,
I'm not just like critiquing. I'm not just like this is my thought. That's it. And I think that's kind of something. I mean, I think a lot of people, they just don't know how to act. Like, I think some people just don't know how to act. So I think a lot of people think like, I'm helping you by telling you it's not good, but you're not telling me how to do it. And say that, like, I don't know what, but I don't think this is great. A lot of people just don't know how to speak, to be honest. I don't know. And when you're talking about supporting, there's so many different ways to support. Like, when I was promoting, literally, sometimes I don't need people to like come to my like events or anything. Sometimes the best thing how to promote to help me is just to simply like my status, like a picture, post it or whatever,
repost it, comment something,
and
tell your friend, whatever.
Exactly. And speaking of which, what should your viewers like and subscribe to?
that was a nice flick to this page. Like, subscribe, and comment, please, and thank you. Really helpful, and I appreciate your comment.
No problem. Be supportive. Be supportive. All right. Be supportive. Simple like, simple subscribe is just easy. Like, I don't know, and that's the thing. It's like, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. And
the worst thing, that's exactly what I was talking about. People like stupid stuff.
Me, like,
sending me like, there's a girl that spins around and talks about pick those noodles versus these noodles, and she does like ballet. Like, people like this all day long, and here you are sitting like, you're like, okay, I wrote this script, I spent like 2 freaking hours on that. I want to make sure my followers get the correct information. You sit there, you hire a person who is recording you, who is gonna process all the. You spend like a whole freaking day to do that, and they're like, nah.
No, but that's exactly, like, I mean, there was someone I sent you once, and I mean, it's just funny. I don't try to be like sexist about it, but it's funny how men and women are just very different. Like, so I sent you this girl who was like baking, and I mean, she's hot, right? She's like really, really.
I mean,
really, she is
don't
hot.
get me wrong.
And I was like, wow, this is a great. I'm like, this is a great video. And I sent it to multiple people, and the guys are like, wow, they all liked it. They're sharing it. And then you and like my other friends are like, all girls are like, what is this? Is the worst video. First of all, she's baking. She's not telling us.
He's saying that she looks bad. Like, no, she looks great.
She looks great, but it's like the content is not there. She first of all is she's mumbling. You can't understand what she's saying. She's putting ingredients in. You can't see the ingredients. She doesn't. And like, for you,
and then she's like,
there's no ingredients being said. Like, how much?
Not even in comments or anything. No recipe. No like link in bio.
And then after it, she doesn't even show you what it is. She just puts her hand there. She goes, And I mean, and like, it worked. Like, the guys are like, this is amazing. Like they're like, oh wow, like, I would love to buy your baked stuff. Like,
whatever it is.
And then
are you shipping?
And you're like this. What? And she had like 10,000 views. Like
to me, it's offensive. As a creator,
100%.
I just get mad.
No, right?
Like,
because
it's not
like,
that I'm
I've done so much. It's not jealous.
No,
I've done so much work in this. And then we all see it on social media. We see like us post something that's probably funny, post something that's like a lot of thoughts. And then you see like, you remember like 2020, it was like big on TikTok, the like dances.
Right.
The people with like, they're like bad at dancing. They had like no rhythm. Like, it was like the most ridiculous, and they'll be like 14 million views, and they are on red carpets now. They are multimillionaires. I mean, and again, it's not like hating. It's like good job, but at the same time,
what the hell?
What's going on? Like what's happening? I mean, one thing I like to do to her is just to annoy her. I get under her skin. I annoy her. I'll send her content that she's like, I don't have time for this. So one thing is I would send you,
not today.
I can't do it. So I would purposely send you Jojo Siwa, right? I would purposely do it just because I think it's funny. But when you see her like actually dance, but when you see her dance, it's like, oh, she's actually
she's really good
dancing.
Yeah, she's
so
really good.
When you see her dance, you're like, oh, great job.
Bravo.
But when you see like the
singing,
weird, whatever, it's like, why is this so popular? You know what I mean? And then you get irritated because you're like, there's so much better talent or whatever out there. But then when you see her talent, I feel like a lot of people, especially like older people seeing it are kind of like, oh, good job. Like, you know what I mean? Like we appreciate your hard work, but when you're doing like, has no talent and they're really popular or whatever, it's very difficult for us, especially someone like you who's like a legit creator. Like you have created, and I mean, you have a brand. It's like impeccable. It's kind of difficult to like, it's kind of offensive. Like to see like,
because you create it and you know how much work it goes into it. And it's a lot of times, business owners, creators who relate, like you have people behind the scene, you know, that help you to do that. And it takes so much effort, investment, you know, and I thought about it, the timing, all of that above. And obviously you do want to see the results because that's how much like, and I know it's my problem and I hear this all the time from all people around me. It's like, well, just take it easy. Like you don't have to overthink it. Like, but I have such a high quality standards to myself. Like I can't do it. Yeah. It's just who I am. And this is what it is. And if I'm going to start lowering that, then it's just not going to be me.
I feel like there's two things. Yes. I think it's about you because this is you. So you're the one who knows best about you. But then two, I think it depends. There's no problem with going like, I want to make it better. I want to improve compared to beating yourself up and going like, I'm a loser. I'm nothing and whatever. It depends on how you deal with those feelings. So either you can have it in a positive way where like, it's not I have to keep like going and striving, but not to the point where you're like killing yourself, but like I'm motivated or whatever.
Try to find
and trying
balance,
to whatever. Yeah. And it's all about balance. And then there's the other people who are like, I didn't do it. Like I have people who are close to me who are like, they try something, it didn't work. I'm not going to that. I mean, even myself, trying, you know, I went into like my background research. I'm very focused and like educated in medical and public health research. Going into getting that like random job as a political analyst, that was very out of left field. I know nothing about politics. I have no interest really in politics. And I was told like, you can do this. All the research that they do, all their methods, it's not that it's hard. It's just very different. And one of my friends told me the other day, like, I was like, that was like a whatever. They're like, honestly, I don't know many people who would go into something knowing they don't know much and still work hard. A lot of us would be scared to go into that. And that's something that really like touched me because I was like, you're right. I mean, I was scared, but I was still like going to work hard. And you remember that time. Like I was not.
You were miserable. I was like,
absolutely.
Are you sure you want to keep doing it? I mean,
wasn't really,
you lost so much weight, and I know it myself. I didn't lose it because when I was at that point of my life. but not reflected to the job by any means. It was much harder. It was marriage.
I know.
Marriage that's like dry me out.
Right. It's hard when you're in those things. And it's like, it is funny because it's like, not even comparing it to marriage, but it's like people were like, you're like, do you really want to stay here? I'm like, I don't know. The 15th, that bank account looks good.
At least you were getting paid, at least you were getting something. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, 103 pounds. It's like, it's 103 pounds left in me. Not even like considering the soul. I feel like the soul was completely lost and then completely gone.
Yeah.
Didn't know like, who the hell am I? Like, looking in the mirror, like, I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
You don't get like, you got a paycheck, and I'm like, okay, I can do this for another month. And I'm like, at least I can go and like treat myself, you know?
Right.
And here I am, was like, I can't treat myself.
Right.
I'm being putting down. I'm being like abused mentally, like sucked dry. And then you go to work. You put the kids to daycare, and like,
that was your escape, wasn't it?
But it was, but it was like, okay, I have to find the escape. I have to find my plan B. I have to like get out of it because right now, like, I don't have a financial stability to get out of it. But then you go to work, and I'm like, I'm ready to pay. I mean, daycare is freaking expensive, but I was ready to pay everything I got to the daycare just to try to find myself back.
That's the thing. Like, that's true. And I mean, thinking back about like my situation too, it's like, my background, like family and stuff, and it's like been like kind of difficult. It's like work has always been like an escape, like, and it's a healthy escape. For us, I feel like we're the same. Like, work and working out are kind of our therapeutic escape. And when one of them, especially like when work is like draining and bad, it's like, well, what else do I have?
Yeah, what else am I gonna do?
And it's so hard to even think, like, in your situation, that you're escaping like what so many people are thriving to get to.
Seeking it.
Yeah, there's people, I mean, we talk about all the time, people who are just wanting to be the husband, wanting to be a wife. They're just
stay home mom.
Yes, they're just doing it. Yeah. And you get there and you're just like, this
sucks.
Yeah, like, this is not, and I mean, that's just the thing. Like, I think for me, it is important to like have so many different people, because like everyone's just different. Because I told you, one of my friends, stay-at-home mom, and I visited, and I was like, well, this is different than you. Yeah. And they are like,
she's happy.
She's happy, and she loves it. She loves it. She loves it. She was working, and then she was like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. You're like, I need to go back. I need more. Like, for you, it's like a purpose.
It is.
Yes.
And I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like at that position where I'm like, okay, I get married. Okay, we're having a kid, like the first kid, like, and when you're having a baby, you're like, I want to spend time with the baby. I think like I'm ready to, spend time at home and just enjoy the kid and do all of the mom's things, and especially how protective and I like, like my, stay-at-home life. It was never stay-at-home life. And
you were pandemic time too, weren't you?
It was a pandemic time.
But that was, for both of them?
Yeah, so 19, it was, my first one was born right before the lockdown. I mean, like, what, 5 months before lockdown, 6 months. Because the lockdown was January of 2020, I feel like.
No, it was March 2020. So
okay, so she was like a few,
a few months, whatever. Yeah. But still,
yeah. And my second one was born in end of the 2020.
Yeah, but that was still locked down. It was still locked down. That was before vaccines and stuff. So
they just started it.
Yeah,
but
and then like, masks were a thing for everything. Yeah, like, even in delivery, right? Wasn't that?
Yeah. I hated this. I'm like, at some point, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't care. You can kick me out. What are you gonna do?
That is actually great.
It is crazy.
That time was...
No, that's great. And I had COVID right before my second was born. So I was like, I literally have immunity. It was like 2 weeks ago. So and I'm not...
Breathing is... Like, that was a crazy time. Yeah. That time was very insane.
Yeah.
And thinking about... Like, you're like... It's not like you're having kids. It's like you are literally like... This is your first time being a mother. This is your... Like...
Yeah.
It's not
that was
like
my second time, but
yeah, but this is still like 8 months is still your first time.
Yeah.
Like it's still like it's a lot to handle, especially like
back to back.
Because I remember when we shut down, when I was the research scientist at the museum, and everything shut down. I mean, I was thriving. I was living my best life.
Yeah, I know you love working at home.
I was loving it. It was the best thing. But I remember in the meetings, people were like, "Oh, how is everyone doing?" And it was a meeting of like 20 people. They're like, "Oh," and someone's like, my daughter is not doing well because like it's just so hard for her to concentrate. The dog is going crazy because we can't go out, whatever. My wife and I, it's just whatever. And everyone's talking whatever. And they're like, "Moise, how are you?" And I'm like,
You're like, I'm great.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to say. They're like, my boss goes, "No, you can say it." I'm like, this is the best time of my life, because I had no kids, no pet, no like mortgage. Like I was just living. I was like, this is great. I get to just work from home and wake up, work from, this is great.
Yeah.
And thinking about people with a lot of those responsibilities, it, for me.
I mean, it broke a lot of marriages for a reason. I mean, we lost a lot of people for a reason.
Yes.
Not by COVID.
Not just by COVID. Exactly. Yeah. Like I know I met someone who was a lawyer, family lawyer, and I was like, "How is the pandemic for you?" It was like
the best financial.
Oh, he was like,
everybody's getting divorced
because he's a family. He was a family attorney. He was like, everyone was getting divorced left and right, and I'm just like, this. I mean, that just sounds like, even now I'm like, ugh, it just sounds like that's getting under my skin.
But
like, thinking about that,
you would think like even like my marriage, like that would affect it, but he was never home. Like he was one of the jobs that never shut down.
Right.
Oh yeah. So it never.
So
did.
That wasn't even like.
It wasn't even really a thing.
Yeah.
But
it's still.
I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, that's why it's just.
I mean, that it was bad before the COVID.
Well,
it was just not as obvious after.
Right. That's what I was going to say. It's just not like. I think a lot of us, like, we were even talking about like even friendships or even like relationships. We see a lot of the issues with let's just talk about relationships.
Yeah.
Forget relationships. We see a lot of the issues beforehand. And a lot of times, I think the thing that holds on to it a lot is this image and this hope we have. Like, we're hoping this person will change. We're hoping for them to get this job.
I can fix it.
We're hoping that, she's not going to talk this as badly as she used to talk. We're hoping, because it's like, I see all these other like good or decent qualities, and you're holding those.
This is like your life.
But there's this other part that is draining and bad, but you're kind of like, it's not as bad. And then later on, it just gets worse.
It just multiplies.
Yes. It's like, it was there before, but And I always say it's kind of like, even like, I don't like to say this, but like cancer. Kind of like
it is, because it started small.
Yeah, it starts small, and
it's
you
like
see it.
The little signs are there,
right?
You're like, maybe I'll brush it off. Now,
exactly.
Like, you're like, and that's when you're like, maybe I'll try to eat healthy. Right. maybe I'll drink some holy water.
Well, that's true. It's like, maybe what did I do? Like, maybe I should just like tolerate the house not being
clean. Maybe I should sleep more or talk different way to people. Maybe I should up my karma.
Right.
And then you will things will change.
And then you do all those things, change, and then it gets worse. Because you're not focusing on the real problem.
Exactly.
You're focusing on other things that have nothing to do. I mean, again, we're talking about like external locus. You're talking about like, internal. Like, what can I do that's different? Yeah. Well, the only thing you can do is different is get rid of that external part or like make sure that changes. I know you did, like, did you do therapy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's a great, I think that was amazing.
One of the things that were like, I finding myself, I am not a stay-at-home mom. I am not thriving here. And maybe if my situation was different, and I would have different atmosphere and that could have been different.
Maybe it was like in Mexico.
Maybe. In Mexico in the resort, and I would have a personal, assistant, like a nanny, and I'm just like doing a Pilates in the morning, taking my green juice, and then go and do my thing.
I think you could do it.
could probably do it. And even then, it would be like just like
I need a little bit more.
I would be like the social media, this girly that like try to make a living just out of there, but not that I need to make money.
But you'll still do it.
But I would still need to do something.
That's your purpose. That is your purpose. You need
I need a purpose. And at the point where I'm like, okay, like I need help. I need help. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand why I'm feeling this way. I don't understand why the person that lives with me treating me that way. Because when I'm confronting them, they're telling me I'm crazy or I'm a psycho or I'm just overthinking stuff. But like, things get worse and worse. So that's the time when I personally started therapy originally. And then, I try to convince him to do the 2 or to do the family therapy until it got to the point when it was really bad and I tried to leave the first time. And some people ask me like, well, why didn't you leave the early before you become a widow? But I don't think I could have because it's just knowing me, I had to try a lot of things and all the possibilities to try to save their marriage. But I also said that if not the kids, I would be.
I was going to say you weren't like. It's funny because like you said, saving the marriage. I don't think you were trying to save the marriage. You're trying to save the family.
I was trying to save the family.
That's the difference. That's a huge difference.
That's true.
That's not. You weren't saving like us. It's like I want us to be great, but we have them.
Yeah.
Like I'm putting them before me and before us. So that's a very different factor. That's not about a relationship now. That's when you're talking about a family unit.
Yeah.
That's very different.
Very different. It's very different, and it's not you. Again, it's not coming you first anymore. It's like your kids coming first. Mm-hmm. But I'm also not the person who is, just going to live in misery and let my kids watching me being disrespected and then being okay when they grow up being disrespected, So
that is something that is very common. And I know a lot of people who've in situations being in families who, like some friends of mine were like, I kind of wanted my parents to get divorced because this is not
healthy.
This is not healthy and not good. Like I was uncomfortable. And they're lucky to seek out healthy relationships. There are a lot of people who are in like families like that who then kind of go, this is what it is. Mm-hmm. This is just normal. Well, my significant other kind of just called me ugly in front of everyone. Well, my parents did that. So
I guess it's normal.
It's normal. It's what I have to handle. Yeah, exactly. Until you see like healthy or different relationships, or like that's how I am with like people with families. I'm like, oh, this is how siblings should be. Like,
I know. I was like, is that how it really goes?
Is that how it goes? Like, oh, we're not normal. Like, this isn't okay.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. To me, it was like my biggest drive is just like, okay, I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am. But I also know that I don't want my kids to be affected by that. Right. Especially like watching their like father getting wasted and, passing out and not being able to take care of them when he's supposed to watch them, and that's the safety reason and not only safety reason to you, but also to your kids. And then them watching that and just being normalized that's the last thing I wanted to do.
You're very, I think one thing about this that really helped is like, you are very hyper aware of like how, like I've always said, like I'm like, the girls are good. I was like, your girls are fine because you are so hyper aware of how you are presenting yourself for them as well. Even when it comes to like you told me one time, you're telling me one of your daughter, you're like, I'll tell her like, I'm sorry. You you apologize just like if like, if you are like annoyed and then it's like, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now. I'm like, you said what? You're sorry to your daughter? Because that's nothing I've seen some parents do it and I'm just like, that to me, that's that's an amazing quality because you're teaching them apology, first of all, isn't a weakness.
Because I can make mistakes too. I can be in a bad mood. I can be in a.
Yeah, but that's and I just see their like attachment to you. It's like, but it's such a healthy attachment. It's not like they're like, it's not like you. I'm sorry, I have this one thing. Sorry. So funny. You're not one of those moms who like make their kids think they're like the most perfect thing ever.
No.
Like, so, I love that.
Yeah.
So
I was like, oh, it hit the table. I'm like, that's not the table's fault. Open your eyes. You walked into the table. I'm not gonna feel sorry. I mean, I can kiss your boo-boo, but you gotta be aware of what happened.
But this is what I'm talking about, a healthy, because it's like, my mother loves me, but also
I want to prep them for life.
For life, exactly. Like, you're prepared. I love that. Like, I just crack up, but it's, again, this healthy dynamic that sometimes we just don't see, or people don't talk about enough. So I feel like other mothers, fathers watching could be like, oh, maybe I need to like either change, or maybe I don't agree, or what have you. But that's just a conversation that needs to be done to kind of help about parenting or just having a family. And all families are not the same. So everyone needs to like, tweak whatever. But in general, I think everyone should be in the same page of like how we're raising a healthy dynamic where we should be able to apologize. Mm-hmm. We should be able to take accountability. And we also should be able just to love and support each other when we need,
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it is.
Clip that. That's a good one. I forgot we were on the podcast, to be honest.
Is it the time to reveal everybody what our relationship status now?
I mean, I think you already revealed in the beginning. By answering that question, you already revealed it.
I mean, like, that's so annoying. How many times do we get asked that? It's like, I feel like number one question.
We're like, are you guys together? Like, women, it's like women for you, I get asked by guys more. You get asked by women?
Oh, no, I ask both, because every time I go like on a date or anything, I'm like, so what's up with that black guy?
All the time. They're like, so what's up with him? For me, it's like, guys are like, you hitting that? I'm like,
hitting that? No. IGL. I will stop that.
Do it for the lore. No cap.
This is so stupid.
I can't do Gen Z lingo.
I can't either.
You're Gen Z though, aren't you?
No.
I think you are.
No, 96 is the last year of millennial.
Can someone check when Gen Z is born? Please. We need to get this.
98 and
earlier.
Really?
I am millennial.
You're a millennial?
Yes, I've always told you that.
Yeah, I just think you're gaslighting.
Yeah, you don't believe me. I know.
Really?
Yes.
Can you check, please? Are we being?
Yeah. She is a Gen Z. Yeah.
born between 97 and 2012.
I'm a millennial.
You just made that cut.
I just made it. And you know what? I feel good about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Whatever.
So it's not under my core or my skin, too.
Yeah, it's not under your skin.
It's not under my skin. No.
Really?
Really? Yes. So stop gaslighting me about it.
Okay, well, I'm millennial. You just made...
Though we both know the people who are like millennials and they try to be like, oh, no cap.
Yeah, which is the worst.
Like, yeah.
Which is the worst. It's like, just be your age. Act your age.
Yeah.
Act your age. It's fine. You don't need to be doing the dances, and you don't need to be saying for the lore or whatever. Like, Riz.
that one.
You got some Riz. Like, no, just stop. Just stop. Just stop.
I call out some people within that.
I hate it. I hate it. So, wow. I'm sorry. I am.
Yeah, I'm not a Gen Z.
Okay.
I'm happy about it.
I'm still processing.
Yeah. I don't even know.
You're like annoyed. Whatever. You are actually irritated, but it's
okay. Sorry. No, you're fine.
You're seeing me get under her skin now.
Oh, you are. Yeah. I mean, you're doing this all the time, so you're a professional on that one.
Yeah, but I'm just. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but you're just like, my friend's like, oh yeah, like young one and
the young one.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm creeping to 30. I'm creeping there, so
yeah,
I'm still there.
Still a baby.
Yeah,
me. Yeah, I always see you as. 19-year-old.
I mean, I'm like 28 going on 45 is a life experiences, not going to lie. both of us. No,
Yeah. No, like, I mean, you lived a life.
I lived a
You lived a
life.
whole life.
Yeah.
Like, you lived.
I mean, well, going back to what you're afraid of, like dying, whatever. I was like, I mean, I almost did.
Yeah. No,
I
you
almost
really,
did. I
you
literally
lived
almost
a life.
lost
Like,
a life. Yeah.
I mean, it's.
And that's the thing, actually, coming back to that question that you answered is, a lot of people, and in the question you ask about, like the business and the people that are around you. And I do appreciate people seeing, like, they're like, oh my God, you're a completely different person, or you're thriving, or you like whatever, like whatever I was 2 years ago and where I am now is just incomparable. But this is exactly the thing. It's hard for me to see people not using their opportunities, or just passing through the life. And I get it, because you don't see that value in life until somebody is about to take it away. And when you go through that, it's in me, it was like, holy shit, like, I need to try to do anything I can possibly do until my time comes. And that's where I am.
No,
It's like, what is the worst thing is going to happen? I'm going to embarrass myself. Well, like, that's fine. I already been there and not even for the purpose, but it's another day. It's another try, Am I going to fail someday? Yes, I fail all the time, but I try to learn something every time I do.
You fail?
I do. Like, I mean, I try to. Of course I do. You can't learn without failing. You can.
You fail.
Stop.
You're so perfect.
But stop. I appreciate you. You're gonna make me fluster. Like,
I mean,
this big game fluster. You made a better job than those cards.
Than those cards.
Yeah.
I feel like, if you ever, I don't think you ever fail if you really learn from any of your mistakes.
That is true.
And that is what real failure is when you like failed and then you don't want to go back and you're not learning from it. Even anything in my life, I think, like, even like, for example, reality TV shows we'd watch, right? You see, you're like sometimes annoyed, but you have seen us watch them, and you'll be like, I'm like, and we'll like really analyze what really these people are thinking and doing.
Yeah.
And we relate with some of the experiences that these people have. And on top of it, we are learning from those things ourselves.
Or they're like reminding you about how far you've come, because you're like looking at them like,
you literally get.
There are some people I'm like, oh my God, that was my life.
Yes.
That's how it was talked to.
But
or this is what it is. And they don't see it. And I was there.
Yes.
I was there. Maybe I was like, okay, this feels off. But you don't clearly understand what's happening,
right.
Until you try to learn those lessons.
But that's why it's like not a failure, because you're learning. If you, let's say, like you're in a relationship, it wasn't right, and then you went to which people do a lot, go to the exact same person, just a different person, but the same type of person, it's like you're not learning. Now you are failing. You know what I mean? The first time it wasn't a failure. The first time it was like a lot of mistakes there or whatever. Now it's time to learn. It's time to learn, to make change and to develop. And it's going to take, trial and error. Of course. But that's why I just don't see you as a failure, actually, because, I'm not flattering you. I'm just being honest, because you always take it as a lesson and you really develop yourself. I mean, it's phenomenal. Even like stuff you do with your social media. My favorite video you have, your birthday video.
I know.
When
I wake up, you're like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't see it. I mean, that's cute, but I don't see like amazing.
It was perfect, because this video, could we even clip it in this?
I guess.
Yeah, we should. We should. Because I think the video really, the thing I love about it the most, I know it sounds so crazy to talk about this video because you're like, it's not even that big of a deal. But it's just like, I think to me, knowing your past, which everyone will like, hear a lot about your past, and then seeing you just looking great, but it wasn't like, it was cute, pretty, sexy, fun. The cake looked delicious. And it was just it encompasses everything that everyone is going to be like, you're a freaking star. You know what I mean? That to me is like, that was just amazing. That's why when I woke, I'm like, you look. And then I'm not even thinking just looks. I'm thinking about like where you came from. It's just like look where I am, everyone. And
you know what? And that comes down to people who don't see the background of the video. How much it tuned that freaking cake was melted in our car, and it was just like falling apart. Me and her try to put it together, put it in the fridge. We're like waiting, putting like sticks in it, try to build the whole cake back together. And I'm like, it literally holds for dear life when we're making that video.
It looked like no one could see that.
But nobody can see that. And
all.
that's the thing. And even my life, like everybody like, oh my God, you have such an amazing life. And like, look at you. And you turn around everything like upside down. You're like thriving and blossoming and everything. But nobody sees this grinding and sleepless nights. Mm-hmm. And the days that you cry, the days you can't get up, and but you still have to get up because nobody's going to take your kids to the daycare. Nobody's going to take care of them besides you. Mm-hmm. There's nobody to have a backup on and saying that, I'm not feeling it today. And nobody sees that.
Very true.
And they only see the pretty picture of it. And that's just the reality.
And, even tying, like, that's just who you are as a person. Like, you sharing that is so amazing because I was actually telling one of my friends something. You had a customer once and they came up to you and said, hey, can you do this? And you're like, I could do this treatment, but that's not what you need. You need to do this, this, this. I mean, I could just take your money, but I'm not doing that. You're such an honest person. That what makes you an amazing, not just person, but amazing professional, amazing skin therapist. It really does, because people can trust you coming up to them and saying, yes, no, this is why, this is what you need to do to take care. It's not about like me getting the money, even though I need it. It's because, what did you say? You said something like, you're a representation of my work.
You're my business card.
Yes.
Yeah, you're my
I
business
love that.
card.
You're my business card.
And that's it, what it is, Yeah. And I always say, I can't sell something. A, I don't think you need it. B, not something I trust or tested on myself or did my research. So everything in like my studio been tested, it's been researched for years. I've looked through that. Okay, maybe I try something, doesn't work, move on to the next one. But everything that I do has a background of it, of history of me studying it and making sure it works. And I can offer to my client.
That. Even just last week.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that's the part of me. Like
people don't know. I mean, I think people know. Like people don't know the background, the amount you're doing, but they trust you, and that's amazing. Like, I mean, you just build so much trust, and I mean,
I try to.
Like you're just phenomenal. I mean, that's even for me. I'm like, I'm using the skin thing. You're like, I'm like, okay, so it's not that big. You're like, it's not gonna do that much, honestly.
I mean, it's not gonna hurt.
Yeah,
it's not gonna fix.
Right.
And that's like, I'll be honest with you. I'm not trying to sell you like the most expensive thing, just whatever, sell it. And that's exactly to the treatments too. You come into me, I'm like, I want to do this. To me, it's an easy sell. You're ready. Want this? You're ready. Choose this. You're ready to go right now.
Yep.
For me, it's just give me your card. Let's go.
Right.
But in another hand, do I want just to take your money right now, or do I want you to be happy with the results? And I choose the second one.
And be a consistent client who's going to like.
Even if I see you once.
Yeah.
Even if I see you once, but it's for right treatment, I will sleep good at night. Even if you don't come back and you're happy with what it is one time, all I want is just you to be satisfied with that one time. Yeah. And not for me, just whatever, do the sell right now, is for me to make sure you educated about what are we doing, and that it's the right treatment, right product for you. And it's not gonna hurt.
Whenever we see like those like type of like aesthetic, like surgery, like, you know, those things I send you, like, you know, like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
you're like, I don't know how these people sleep at night. Like, you literally, you're like, and I'll see your face because we'll do screen share, FaceTime, and I just want to see your face, and you're like looking, you're like, and you're just like, I don't understand how these people sleep. Like, just leave it, allow. Like, I would be like, you have to do this. Like, we can't get here. Like, this is unethical and just not me. And I just, when you keep saying that, it's just who you are. We can love it. But it's what we need, what everyone needs. And that's the problem, I think, with like your field. It's like when people think about like Botox, you know, fillers, anything, people, or like skin, they're thinking of the people with like the high cheekbones here. And
they're like tied up, screnched up.
Right.
And people do lose trust in the industry. And that's a big thing. And that's what I guess trying to do is to change that people's view on that. You know, again, it's not going to be every single provider. There's a lot of amazing providers out there. They just might not be always highlighted, you know, or being a lot on social media to learn. And unfortunately, those providers that are great at what they're doing, they're not always out there, you know. Right. But you see those that are just like, well, use the mermaid slime on your face and you gonna fix all the wrinkles, you know? Like, and scrub your face with a scent and you don't need anything else.
That's exactly what we talked about today. We talked about, like, you know, good content and whatever.
Yeah, or just for the views.
For the views.
And you know, it's going to get views. It's going to get all this exposure. Like, and then people are like, oh, you know what? I'm on the beach today. Let me rub it in.
Yes. And then you see those people like, they're not great quality. But the people who are great quality aren't getting all these views. They don't really know how to work social media, but they are the top tier in there. So what would you recommend how to find a good... Okay, let's talk about 2 ways quickly. Time is maybe coming up, right? I don't know. So
about 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, cool. So what do you recommend for any type of like skin therapists, like business owners to do to get more people? And what do you recommend for people to find a good skin therapist?
Okay, yeah, that's actually a great question. Well, we'll start with first. I think for the providers, it's just being you and being genuine and being open, being trustworthy. It's building that trust, and it takes time, you know. And as I said, people do lose trust in the industry because they go to every, you know, provider. It doesn't matter if it's a esthetician, if it's dermatologist, if it's a plastic surgeon, it doesn't matter what it is. Could be, you know, any part of that. And they have a problem, and then those people that try to make money, they're gonna, you know, like, forget what you get here, we'll sell you everything right now, throw away this, make this investment, and then they kind of, well, it doesn't work, well, that's your problem, you know, and that's just what it is. They try to suck as much money as they can in that moment, and they don't really worry about what's next in your journey. So to me, it's just stick to who you are, not what gonna bring you the most, you know, income right now, but it's about the down the road. Building the trust is gonna take time. Being out there on social media, unfortunately, you want it or not, it's the platform that you need it to be. You know, people, they visit social media more than your website. Yeah, they look in the website, but they want to see who you are. They want to see who you are. They want to see not only before and afters, they want to see who is the behind the scene. And yes, because we want to feel related. I feel like we live in a time where people want to feel related. Let's say you're like the greatest esthetician out there or the greatest dermatologist out there. And I had the same experience when I was speaking like my plastic surgeon. I see the person who has like millions of followers, you know, millions of views. But I look and I'm like, I don't feel it. It's not me. I want to feel related. I'll pick my nails. I'll pick my doctor. I'll pick my any industry, somebody I have relations to. I was like, oh, I like their style, or I like how they talk, or maybe she's a single mom too and she knows what I'm going through, or, you know, whatever the circumstances are. We want to feel related. So it's important to show you, and those clients that want you, they will come. It just might take a little bit of time. be consistent with that. It's going to be ups and downs, but the consistency will show up. Invest in yourself, invest in education, and make sure that your products and the services are to the point. If something doesn't work, get rid of it. Don't be scared to make changes, and don't be scared acknowledging things like, okay, I used to do that, but it's no longer effective, or my clients are not happy. And just because I already invested it, I just need to keep pushing. No, find a way how to fix it. Find a way how to exchange it, to something better, or how to improve it. So client relations, and just, to me, is just being you and investing in yourself.
Really
The quality, yeah. But
I think it's something like in healthcare, they discuss that, like when it comes to like especially patient adherence, like adhering to like medical advice or what have you. So with the study you talked about that I published, the biggest issue with people with like type 2 diabetes, the main thing finding in my research was that younger people with type 2 diabetes had worse control of their blood sugar compared to older people.
really,
Yeah. So like people like in their 30s it was skyrocket, but people in their like 60s, 70s was controlled so well. And that is related to a lot of behavioral things, like the younger people had more scattered BMI, did not have good control, or I think higher depression, worse cholesterol, higher blood pressure. They were smoking more. So a lot of behavioral issues were a factor. And I think younger people need to relate with their providers more than anyone in order for real change to happen. I think that's just very important.
And that's actually another thing that you mentioned, brought me to the thought. It's not enough. We live in a time when it's not enough just to do a service. It's not enough just to do a 5-minute consultation. It's not enough just to say, well, I said so because you need it. Whatever, because I said it, because I know it.
Right.
It's not enough anymore. It used to work like that, but it's not. Even in the treatment room, when people come in, they want to see that you're taking time for them. They want to see that you're actually putting your passion into it.
They're a person.
They want to feel like
a
be
person.
seen as a person. They want to be seen not as in another, just a client, pass it along. They want to be seen as them. And it's very important, because everybody has a different body. Everybody has a different skin. Everybody has a different needs, whether it's financial, whether it's personal. And that's why it's important even to ask, like, what you want to change, what bothers you. What I see doesn't mean what you needed. There people might have completely different perspectives. So it's very important to listen, very important to even to pay attention to a person who is sitting in the front of you. And I think that's like one of the major things that you got to do in this industry primarily. But if coming back to the question of how to find that provider, is the same thing. Do your research.
Yeah.
Look
Detective
around.
Work.
It unfortunately, that's just what it is. Obviously, the referrals work the best. But even then, sometimes, some say like, oh my God, she's amazing, but it's just not your person. It's just might not match your needs.
But it's exactly what you said. Like, take time to get to know them or
exactly.
see what they're doing. Like, there's no problem with like, consulting them or seeing whatever the treatment is. They just take time to see if this is a good fit.
If it's a good fit, look at the credentials, look how they present themselves, because unfortunately there's a lot of providers that work without the license. Unfortunately, it's just the reality. Yes, you'll see them being cheaper, but that's the thing, and I'm not telling you to go and spend a fortune for like one thing, like $1,000 for a cream just because it's $1,000 and the most expensive is the best. No, it's not. But good provider with the good, whoever invests in their education, who's consistently learning, who has the products that you need, who has the treatments that you will see the results from, it's not going to be off of the Amazon. So it can't cost $50. You know, it can't, like, the treatment that everywhere is like $250, it can be $120. So just think about that. You have one body, you have one skin. Be realistic. I understand everybody has different budgeting, different finances. But to me, if you want to, let's say, invest in something, save up a little bit and find that person that you want and just go to them.
Yeah.
Take a little bit of time, talk to them. A lot of them will work with you. You know, a lot of them want to make your life easier. Maybe, you know, have a plan, like payment plan, or like the packages, anything, whatever. We're all humans and we should be treated humans. Talk. It's easiest conversation.
And it is just investment. I mean, my CrossFit, that's an investment.
Your body is an investment.
Yeah.
Therapy is an investment into your mind and your soul. You know, like anything is investment. Food that you eat is an investment. You know, you can buying the same foods in Walmart. You can't expect the greatest quality, unfortunately. Filet mignon and Walmart, the section, you know, there's expiration date is in 5 years. I mean, it is just what it is.
Filet
it's what
mignon
it is. In the can. Yeah, that's what it is. Be realistic. Do research. Look around. See their like social media, see their websites, and then just find the right person.
I love how it's mostly like, just do the work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the truth. Like, just do the work. Take time.
Take time.
And do work.
Yeah, take the time. And don't chase the price tag. Don't chase the price tag. Don't look at the professional in the Groupon. It's not any sort of, you know, like discounted websites. Maybe some of them could be good, but it's just not the right place to look for it.
Someone suggests
it's not the IKEA furniture.
Someone suggested for when we were going to New Orleans, my birthday, like, do this Groupon, and I'm like, no.
You know what you're gonna get.
I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah.
For that same reason.
Yeah. And then that's what it is.
Thank you for having me, though.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. I want to give you a hug. It was a truly pleasure, and I think it was a really good conversation. I think we should repeat that too.
I felt nervous at first, and you just know how to like make me like calm. Like, that's why I just love you. This was just a good conversation.
I know.
This was fun.
We touched base on a lot of stuff.
I want to do another one.
We got to do another one.
I want to do another one.
We'll totally repeat that. Cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you so for joining me. And thank you guys for joining. Like, subscribe, and the comment. Love you all.